So guys, what's better than having an absolutely gorgeous 1965 Buick Riviera?
Having two absolutely gorgeous 1965 Buick Rivieras.
Guys, so in today's episode, we are going to be revealing and really talking a lot about these two cars behind us. These Rivieras have been through a lot. This guy right over here has been with us for a little over 4 years, where this one's just spent about a year with us. A lot to dive into. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the subscribe button. And if you like what you see, please let us know. Aren't these things absolutely gorgeous?
Beautiful.
My kinship to these cars, honestly, is because we share a birth year.
A lot of car guys are like that.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, my first car was a 65 El Camino. That was my very first car. And so every time I see a 1965 anything, I'm like, oh, I need to have it. So,
well, my first car was a Camaro, but I'm gonna not disclose the year.
Why? Are you chicken?
You know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So.
I can't believe how well preserved this car was when it came in. The paint was faded, of course, but as soon as I got in it and I took it for a spin down the street, I was like, whoa, this car is so cool, right? How many years did they make this car? I'm not familiar with Buick at all.
This generation of Riviera started in '62 and ran through '65. In '65, they got these really cool looking clamshell headlights. Let me show you. What's so cool about a '65 Riviera is how these headlights work.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool? That's a lot of real estate. That's impressive. It's like, man, that really opens up big.
Let me flip the keys so they close for us. Hang on a sec. The clamshell device is tied to the ignition key, so they'll open when you turn the switch on.
Oh, that's sweet.
But it doesn't pull power when you turn the switch off. It turns the headlights off, but it doesn't close the doors until there's power.
So when you get in and start it, they open, so it's waking up.
When you pull the headlights.
Oh, okay. I thought, man, that'd be cool to wire it so when you start it, they just open.
I know, right? These aren't individual motors. It's actually one motor in the center with bars, so they open up, perfectly sequentially. In
that's cool.
Same speed,
which
is kind of cool.
Yeah.
A lot of modern cars with pop-up headlights have individual motors.
Right.
And sometimes they get a little sleepy and one's faster.
You can even do that intentionally, right? Like on the. What is it, the Miatas, right?
Yeah, the Miatas,
the Miata wing.
The Firebirds, the old Furos, oh my God. So, but these are cool. So what makes the 65 Riviera super unique, obviously, is the clamshell headlights. And this was such a gorgeous car. So when you think about what was running around in 1965, this was kind of like the gentleman's sports car. It's not as big as a Cadillac. Things were so different back in the 60s compared to today. You had sports cars, which was your two-door Corvettes and your Mustangs, of course. In 1965, the Mustang, movement was just coming to be, 64 and a half Mustangs. And so those were your little pony cars, and then you had your Camaros, and of course the Firebirds and the Camaros didn't come out until 67. So really your early cars were your Corvettes and your pony car Mustangs in the year of '65. This was your gentleman's sports car, if you will. It wasn't a Cadillac Sedan DeVille. It wasn't a Buick LeSabre or a big Chrysler LeBaron. You could take this to work and still wear a suit and tie and take it out on the weekends and have fun with it. So,
and what's interesting? This overhang is really short here for an older car.
It really is. Isn't that funny?
It's like the wheels are pushed out. When you said Cadillac, first thing I started doing in my head was
huge
these
overhang
comparisons, in my head visually, and I'm like, This thing is short, and I mean the back does hang out a bit, but not like a Cadillac.
No, you're absolutely right. They pushed the wheel right out to the front on this car.
So this was like an in-between, not quite luxury, not quite sport. They pushed the lights out further. It kind of gives it more width,
and and these things are so cool. These cars, although they look very similar, they couldn't be farther apart.
Tree, the last weekend of summer, the empire at our fingertips, the autumn to discover. If I would have had the worldliness to be the perfect lover, would you stay under the willow tree when I asked if you would be? Would you be my Valentine?
This car is in its original bamboo cream, original interior. It looks like it could have just literally rolled off the assembly line in Flint, Michigan, and it looks absolutely fantastic. You know, when I first saw this color, I'm not a huge yellow car fan, unless it's the right car, but this really isn't yellow. This is more of a creamish yellow. I don't know, this color is really beautiful.
The car wears it well.
It does, doesn't it? It's just a really cool look. This thing is stunningly original. Right down to its upholstery is original. So
is it the original drivetrain?
Original drivetrain. They came out with the GS.
I'm going to open the hood.
Yeah, let's go for it. The GS.
Wait, it's not inside, it's outside.
It's right here.
It's
right here.
You can tell this is not of my era.
It's all right. This looks a little confusing. You'll see these fin valve covers, which was common on the 425, the Super Wildcat option. And you could actually get a 425 Super Wildcat motor without the GS package. It was a rare option, but you can get it with a dual 4-barrel carburetor. And of course, this air cleaner would be much bigger. Someone has added, maybe the dealer added the fin valve covers, which was common on the 425s. In terms of equipment, it's nicely equipped. It's got air conditioning, it's got power windows, it has tilt wheel. Not every Riviera left the factory with those options. And this has the seat belt option with the retractable seat belts.
And does it also have the hide your fifth of gin in the engine compartment option?
Isn't that cool?
It's a glass window washer reservoir.
Isn't that cool?
That's nuts.
We left the wheels and tires alone. This was the, you know, it's got the Grand Sport wheels. It's just such a classy car.
And it's an automatic. I know that.
Automatic.
I mean, but did they ever come in manual?
No, not in Rivieras. They were all automatics.
So the interior stock too?
Yeah, we haven't touched the interior.
Okay.
There's talk that we may do that. Because it's original, it's just getting a little spongy. It's kind of like a dried up sponge.
Yeah.
So what we're thinking we might do, since this car is so clean, and this car only has 60,000 original miles on it, what we may end up doing is reupholstering this.
All right, what color is this? Because my eyes are terrible. I see black carpets, right?
Yeah, it's a black interior. If you look at bamboo cream cream has a little bit of green in it. This yellow has a touch of green. And if you look really closely at the upholstery, now mind you, it's 57-year-old upholstery. It's aged quite a bit, but it has a little bit of a green tinge to it.
Oh, neat.
So it's black. You know, you've got a black dash, black door panels. You've got all the wood.
And oh, check it out. Look how they brought in the fins here on the door and on the door sill.
The door sill, yeah.
And then on the, I don't know what you call this, the door handle bezel or something, but that is cool because it ties in with the valve covers. You know, the owner of this car, right? He read literature. He went to church every Sunday, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The owner of this car, menace to society, hide your daughters. I mean, it is a gangster chariot, man. I mean, it is something else.
So look at this thing, man.
You know, I love whoever selected this. I don't know if it was you or Alex, but the wheels are so fitting for the body. Because look, 5-spoke. Look at the stock car over there, 5-spoke. Right. It's got that similar pattern, to it.
There you go. I didn't even pick up on that. Although these cars look identical at first glance, this is kind of a poser. This car is actually a 63. It's a project that we acquired from someone that he kind of lost steam and didn't finish it. So
wait, how can this be a 63? You put a front end on the car.
We purchased an entire front clip from a 65 Riviera.
Wow.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing that's different is the taillights. The tail panel. 65 Rivieras are unique from 62s and 63s and 4s.
Okay.
Now a 63 would have an indent right here with the little insert, a little chrome insert. We cut that out and welded that up because we wanted to replicate a 65. This car is really special.
Dude, that's so tight.
Did you even, I mean,
oh my God, how can you not love this thing?
Did you look under the hood?
I've seen under the hood.
An LS3, a 4L65.
Oh yeah.
Modern air conditioning. I mean, this car has no idea it's a 1965. It thinks it's a 2018,
right?
You know?
Even the engine bay, man, it's so downplayed. You know, matte black, satin black, satin silver. You know, it's
crazy. I love the way this car came out. Alex and I kept looking at it, and we were trying to figure out, oh my God, what do we do?
What do we do?
What do we do? So we get on the phone and start making all sorts of phone calls. Found a guy up in, I believe it was in northern LA County, who specialized in 65 Rivieras and had a complete front end clip from the 65 Rivies, which had the clamshell headlights and had all of the components that we needed to turn this car into a 65. The rear bumper, all of the special molding that goes on the bottom. It's called the GS molding.
Oh, the fin molding.
The fin molding that you see on this car. It just made sense for us to keep going with it.
I got to point this out. Look at that. Where do you get a hood liner like that?
George found this online, and it's a company that makes aftermarket components for classic cars, and it just was a nice finishing touch, right?
Dude, you're telling me.
What makes it even more special is the interior. And I mean, look at it sitting on the ground. Oh my God.
It's drop dead gorgeous, man.
So now what you're going to see in this interior is really crazy stuff. Okay.
Amazing.
So this interior is a complete modern rendering of the 65 interior. And what we did is in 1997-98, Buick reintroduced the Riviera, and they put a modern dash in it to kind of pay homage to the original 65 Riviera. And so what we did is we went to a wrecking yard and we found a 1998 Buick Riviera dashboard and center console, and we robbed it out of the car.
I totally see the cues with the instruments.
And the seats, if you're wondering what these seats are, what
would you guess those seats are from? Front and back seats.
Pontiac GTO.
Okay. No, I told you. So these are actually GTO seats, and the reason why the GTO seat was an immediate attraction to me is they had very similar back seat designs as the original 65 Riviera. So if you look at the split bench in the rear of a 65 Rivi, it's very similar to what they offered in a 2005 Pontiac GTO.
Dude, the theme is undeniable. You can totally see the comparisons and the carryover.
And here's the other cool thing. Dakota Digital makes just these beautiful analog gauges, and they make a 63 through, I believe, 65 gauge cluster to replace the factory gauges. We took that entire gauge cluster and built it into the 98 Riviera, so it's got all modern gauges in it.
That's tight. That's super tight.
Yeah,
I love
isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then we customized the interior. We wanted to kind of play into the theme of the dash and the door panels matching each other when they're closed. These are all custom built, one of a kind door panels that gives it that kind of modern look.
And that steering wheel?
It's actually a 1998 Buick Riviera steering wheel. We just decided to keep the theme. We deleted the airbag in it.
Well played. You know, I brought this question up before, right? And it revolves around value. Why do you take something that is so low numbers and desirable and turn it into a resto mod? Where do you make that decision along the way?
Yeah, so great question. And here's the thing. Since this was an unfinished project we acquired from someone else, it didn't have the right upholstery in it. It didn't have the right engine and drivetrain in it. It had already been modded. So it wasn't like we took this beautiful virgin car. I would never do what we did to this car, because this car, outside of a respray, it's completely original. Its chrome is original. Its bright work is original. Upholstery is still original.
Now, I remember when it came in, the paint was faded, right? And you could, the bright work was dull, but it's a survivor.
So we've talked about this, right?
I know where you're going with this. I know exactly where you're going with this. Which one would you choose?
Well, I was going to ask you that. Which one would you choose?
All right, right now, in this moment, today, I choose this one.
Yeah, hard not to, right?
When I saw that thing go down like this, man, it hits a certain part of me that's, you know, I've outgrown, but
absolutely,
I can't deny it.
No, it is stunning.
I can't deny it.
It looks like a Hot Wheel, and oh my God, an attention getter like no other.
Yeah.
But so is that.
In a different way.
So this is your no frill. I'm gonna take it out on the weekends. And so for me, being in the position of having all these wonderful builds going on all the time, there's something about an original, untouched car that just takes you right back to 1965. That car doesn't take you back to 1965 when you're driving it. When you lay eyes on it and it's not sitting on the ground, you're like, oh, 65 Riviera.
To this car's defense, it knows what it is. It knows what it is. You know what? It is not an original car, and it ran with it. You know what I mean? And owned it, right? This car is cool without trying. You know what I mean? He's just like, I am original. I'm super OG. I'm going to the bakery and picking up pies, you know.
I love it.
Yeah, right?
It is cool.
And I'm not trying to show off for anyone, right? I'm just cool in my own right, you know?
You guys, what do you like? What would you prefer? I'm definitely a fence walker on these cars. You know, if I was going to do the car show scene and go out and have fun.
Oh, no, you already made your choice. You chose that car.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
And I chose this one. You go to the bakery. I'm going to the liquor store.
Please comment. I'd love to hear about what you guys would prefer. We just want to share content with you. So if you see something that you like, you know, speak up. Tell us what you think. Yeah, more to follow. We're going to go have some fun.